This is the Sports Porch, Black and Gold, with your hosts, the technical director, the Grand Schwalbini, and Hockey Jesus. Come on, Pittsburgh. Let's show a little Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates love. The Sports Porch Black and Gold starts now. Yes, it does. The Sports Porch Black and Gold. It starts now every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So happy you're here with us. I'm your technical director, sitting down here in the studio, in the basement studios of Monroeville, is Hockey Jesus. I'm not sure. Oh, that's right. And over here, that's what the messy studio looks like right now. And down here is the Grand Schwalbini, also in the basement studio.
How do you point like that way?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. So listen, if you're following us on YouTube, thank you. If you picked us up on YouTube, please, you can subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to us on YouTube at the Sports Porch Podcast. You can visit our website, theporcheslive.com. And I'm going to drop this podcast right after the show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. Now, for everybody who tuned into last night's post-game show, thank you very much. One of our great shows of all time, I think. And
there was a lot of angst.
We love doing it.
Yep.
There was a lot of angst. You're absolutely right. So we're gonna kind of glaze over a little bit of that angst because I think we got it out last night. And it's probably been talked about like crazy. The bullet points are easy. The defense was absolutely horrible and atrocious. Tomlin didn't coach very well at all. He never does. Rodgers was frustrated. The offense kind of stalled, and they ended up losing the game because they kicked too many field goals. That sound good?
Good synopsis.
The one thing I did go back and look at was the Steelers had the lead in the fourth quarter.
By 10 points.
Yeah.
By 10 points.
No, it wasn't 10 points because on the very first play of the fourth quarter, they ran in a touchdown, and that's what gave them the lead.
Okay.
But it was, 5 points.
Yeah.
And I forgot that they had the lead for that long because it felt like once Green Bay got the lead that they just had it the whole game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just so disappointing to go back and watch that again.
Although, one thing that we didn't mention from yesterday, because it was going on while we were on the air, was when Tomlin was asked, basically what went wrong with the game.
Right.
I thought two of his comments were just very bizarre to me. One was, I'd like to congratulate Green Bay on their victory.
Yeah.
What the hell's that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't understand.
It was weird. And then the other thing was that he comes out, and look, this is 100% true that you don't win games against good teams kicking field goals and not scoring touchdowns. It's 100% true.
Right.
But that's probably not the first thing you want to do is come at the offense when the offense actually did do enough to potentially win the game.
Yeah. But
right.
The 25 points.
And the defense.
Right. 35-25.
35-25.
I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, that's right.
And the defense, which is his baby, was really the one that has been letting them down week after week.
Right.
Week
after week.
Yeah.
After week.
So it's like he seems to he doesn't take responsibility for the defense. As much as he should.
Yeah, he threw in some very Tomlin-like sentences about from coaching because he was asked a question about schematics later on in the talk, and he threw out a couple things about, well, yeah, it starts with the scheme, of course, but it also with the players executing. But, the scheme is the coaches, blah, blah, blah. When he says coaching and the coaches, though, I get a sense that he's not talking about himself.
No, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, although I think he would argue differently. I really do. I mean, I don't think he's that egotistical. I don't. But I think he dances around a lot. I mean, let's imagine this was, I could say Jim Mora, but let's imagine this was even like a Mike Vrabel or, dare I say it, a Bill Belichick. They would have come right out and said, look, the defense is horrible. It starts
on me.
It starts with me. We got to rethink how we're doing this,
Mm-hmm.
because you can only ask the players to do too much, and the execution, pardon me, also leaves a lot to be desired, and he didn't do that.
No,
he didn't do that.
He never does.
No.
He never takes responsibility for it. He never says, we're going to have to make the defense different. We're going to have to do something different. He just congratulates the other team and, points out that we didn't score enough points.
Right.
Congratulations. Way to go, head coach.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I think everybody's tiring of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all we got last night on the post game. That's all we got all day in the comments on the shorts. Fire Tomlin, fire Tomlin, fire Tomlin, fire Tomlin. And as we've said before, that's just not going to happen. I mean, I'm with you, HJ, on that. It's not in the Steelers' DNA to ever truly fire a head coach because, at least starting with Chuck Noll, which was in the late 60s, early 70s, they haven't. They've only had 3 coaches. So, it is what it is. But HJ wants to talk about something. I mean, since everybody likes to pretend, I'm going to let you bring this up, HJ.
Yeah.
This was your baby. Let's see what everybody thinks.
We're going to do this before we get into the quarterback thing you want to talk about.
Yeah, because I want to do the Steelers stuff. Then we're going to move on to some AFC quarterbacks that I think maybe at this point you look back and say the Steelers should have done that. You guys may or may not disagree with me. Then we'll do our porch picks. Then we'll go into a hockey Jesus, and then we'll take it out with what we're watching.
All right, that sounds good. So everybody today, at least on everything that I've been listening to, likes to go into the land of theory. Like everybody knows we should fire Tomlin. Everybody knows that Tomlin won't be fired. And it seems like a circular conversation where it's just like, you want to talk about it, but you can't talk about it. So rather than just talk about Tomlin, my question to you guys and to the fans out there is this. What do you think would help the Steelers in the long run? You have 2 choices. Either Tomlin gets fired or retires, or the Rooneys sell the team to somebody else. That's my question to you. What do you think in the long run would be better for the franchise, for the logo, for the Steeler Nation? What do you think would be better long term? What do you think about that, Mark?
I'll go with Tomlin fired or retired. Simply because, look, I'm going to say that the younger generation of Rooneys has not been very good. Certainly, they're not their father. Okay. However, I also know that there are some really, really bad owners in sports. And so I don't know that you want to put yourself in a position where, you get the next Dan Snyder, or something like that. I also think that people can learn and they can grow. Right. And maybe what they learn and grow out of this is that, okay, maybe there was a time where you have a coach for 20 years, but maybe that time has sort of gone past for the most part now. And we just need to, kind of, like act like the other teams out there. If you've got a good coach, maybe they end up being there like 7-10 years, but that's probably going to be about it.
Right.
That a message grows old. And so maybe they will learn from that and make a good choice with the next coach.
Yeah. I come from the background of the absolute worst owner in the history of not only the NFL, but probably pretty damn close to professional sports in the United States anyway.
Well, hot damn. Penguins scored. Sorry.
Hot damn.
So, to have ownership like the Rooney family, I think is a privilege as a sports fan. We all know they benefit monetarily like crazy. So, I think it would be better for Tomlin to move on. I think that the current, Art Rooney II, I don't know if he's a bad owner yet. I don't think he'll ever be a bad owner from the standpoint of not wanting to try to win. I think he might just be a bad owner of, less risk taking, more real conservative in a time when the NFL is starting to take more risks, especially on the monetary side of the ball with the expansion, it looks like in Europe and the different type of offenses. And he's kind of stuck in the past. I'd be interested in seeing what he has a son that works high up with the team.
Supposedly.
Right. So
there are a lot of other Roonies coming up in the mix.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, you can't speculate on what would happen there, but I have to say that it's not a bad thought to think that maybe the ownership is so stale that this is just a problem that's going to exist forever as long as we stay slightly relevant and in the mix through most of these seasons. We're going to have a very profitable franchise. But at what point does the mystique and the worldwide recognition of a brand wear off? Because it does.
Right.
It does. Right now, the Steelers are still probably one of the most popular jerseys sold on the planet, if not the most, other than a big soccer team. So,
right.
At what point does that mystique wear off? I mean, I don't know. The Cowboys have been selling a lot of shit for a lot of years, and they've sucked for a long time now.
They haven't made the playoffs.
Right. So
God knows how long.
It's an interesting concept, HJ. What do you think?
I think the issue that I have with the Roonies is it doesn't seem like they have a legacy plan. Like you don't hear who's up and coming next.
Right.
Like it looks like Art the third really just wants to continue until he's going to be in his grave, and I don't think that's a good idea for the logo. I don't think that's a good idea for the franchise. And it seems like the next thing that they're more worried about is how much money are we going to get for the next upgrades to the next stadium, or do we need to get a new stadium that's a dome or something like that? They're never really thinking. To me, it seems like they're thinking less and less about how to put a good product on the field and how to make the product on the field look better, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, maybe if you just had somebody else who had more passion for what the Steelers used to be coming in, taking over this franchise and worrying more about what's going on the field as opposed to what's going on in the press box or where are we going to be playing next and those sorts of things. That's where I was going. Now, I agree. I think your trepidations are well said, because there you could get somebody who is absolutely horrible and would just sink this franchise. And you know what? People would still come, so they would still make their money, and that's really what it would come down to.
Yeah,
I do think the Roonies are still passionate about the Steelers. I just don't know how stale it has become for them, because they've made so many millions of dollars off of the Steeler franchise. I don't think they know anything else. So I just hope that the next person they bring in is somebody new with some new ideas, and that will take us over this. We got to deal with a head coach for 20 years because my daddy did it that way. You know?
Yeah. And you know what the other thing is with the Roonies? Like they're like invisible. Like you never see them. You barely ever get a comment from them. And I know a lot of owners are like that, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Not Jerry Jones.
I mean, right. I mean, I feel like
I guess I'd rather have it that way than have Jerry Jones being like that.
True. But I mean, like
every off season would be really exciting, though.
Like for example, like a lot of owners, after the season will do a state of the team address.
Right?
Like, does Rooney do that?
Yeah, he has a Rooney press conference.
Not really. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal the way these guys are, but he does do a press conference where he takes. And it's usually him and the GM, in this case, Omar Khan. But he does. I listened to it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he is it's amazing. And it actually kind of clicks that he would really love Tomlin so much, because it's almost as if he's adopted some Tomlinisms on his own.
Right.
You know, like they feed off it. Would you agree with me, HJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole, hey,
It's like
you know,
it's like they believe in each other and they're starting to believe their own bullshit.
Yeah.
yeah. If you get into the playoffs, that's you just got to get in.
Yeah. And now
We
at the
believe
end,
in Mike, because
Right.
Mike's always gotten us playoffs. He's never had a losing record. It's like they just start to believe that.
but at the end of the
Everybody can see it on the field. It doesn't feel that way.
Right.
I will say this though, and this kind of felt a little bit, and again, I want to talk about this a little bit as well. This almost feels like a Pirates type of response. At the end of last year, Rooney did not go down the road of what they were so famous for in the previous year, which was saying, you know, the goal is to get to the playoffs. And then Steelers Nation went nuts and was like, no, the goal is to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
You know, like,
Right.
he did back off of that and make a statement. I'm not quoting him, but this is what I remember. If anybody remembers from that press conference at the end of last year, he pretty much said playoff games, winning or losing, making the playoffs is not what this organization is about. He did say that. However, what he didn't say was, we're going to go win Super Bowls. So I was like, okay, but you stopped short. You stopped short of saying our goal is to win the Super Bowl every year. Instead, you said winning a playoff game isn't good enough. We've got to go further. And it's like, all right, so you acknowledged it, but really, are we turning into the Pirates? And that's one of the things I wanted to bring into this. Are the Penguins on the upswing now, and the Steelers on the downswing? I mean, you know, what happens after Mike Tomlin? You know, we don't know, and we don't even know if there's going to be an after Mike.
Yeah, we don't even know when that's going to be. That's the thing. Like with the Steelers, there's you can't think about the future because you have no idea what the future is going to bring. You just assume that it's going to bring more older quarterbacks and more Mike Tomlin and more defense.
Right.
And to me, it's stale.
Yeah,
it's just stale at this point. And without the splash plays, it's borderline boring.
Yeah, so we're going to move on here for a second, but I want to thank, if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for being here every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time at the Sports Porch Podcast. Hit that subscribe button, click notifications. You'll know when we go live. If you're watching on X, thanks for being here. Please hop on over to YouTube, click that subscribe button, like I said, at the Sports Porch Podcast. And also you can follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or the iHeartRadio app, anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. Catch up with us every Monday night and after every Steelers game. I wanted to talk about something here. I wanted to compare some things, and I'm just going to put this up here, and then I'll tell you guys what it's all about. So that
looks like a Canva.
It's a Canva. I got a Canva. I'm gonna have to put my glasses on. I have to apologize for any typos.
You realize this Canva looks exactly like an Excel spreadsheet.
It is. It's a Canva spreadsheet.
Gotcha.
So, but I made it in Canva.
Okay.
So, and maybe Canva will decide that it's worthy to sponsor our show, since I'll make them all in Canva.
Tell us more about this Canva.
Okay. So this Canva, I'm looking at guys now. At the bottom, you'll see Caleb Williams, and there's a reason why. Okay. So I watched these three quarterbacks play this weekend. I watched Bo Nix basically and the Broncos defense destroy the Cowboys. I watched Drake May destroy whoever they beat, which I can't remember Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And then I watched Dylan Gabriel not do that great against you know who. So Nix and May, their rookie years were last year. The Steelers could have drafted them. Maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't know what, and I'm not going down draft picks. I don't need anybody emailing us or telling me like, no, they couldn't have because they missed this pick or whatever.
Definitely not. They couldn't have, because May went 3rd overall.
Right.
Nix went 12 overall. So they couldn't have drafted those.
Okay.
Right.
So I guess my point is, you're looking at this and you're saying, instead of exploring a young quarterback, let's throw Jackson Dart in there this past year. Okay. Mm-hmm. Instead of looking at that, I don't have his stats up here, but Caleb Williams was a couple years ago and he was the number 1 pick. Mm-hmm. Okay. He was 2 years ago. So you look at these stats, and these are the stats through the season. I would take any of these quarterbacks except Dylan Gabriel over Aaron Rodgers right now, because if they were playing this way, we'd be winning games the same way, and we'd have a young up-and-coming quarterback to build around. Now we bet the house on an overpriced defense that is just not going to turn around, and we have to start all over again next year with a quarterback. And what happens if, it's a big if, what happens if the Steelers do make the playoffs and win a playoff game? I know that's a huge if right now. Too many things to fix. But what happens if that happens and then Aaron Rodgers says, I want to give it one more shot? Then
it's going to happen.
Right. Right. And then we delay it.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, like, I know, like, for example, Steve has kind of approached this season, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it in terms of, from the very beginning, like, hey, let's be positive. Let's get with this and get on board the train, and let's see if they can do something. Right. And nothing wrong with that at all. But as we're kind of getting the sense for what the Steelers are, which is honestly not much different than last year. They got a better quarterback and some better offensive weapons, but the defense is actually probably even worse than last year.
Seemingly, now,
yes. Yeah. So
statistically, for sure.
Yeah. So it's kind of evened out, right? And the way I sort of look at it, and I hate to say this because, you never want to root for your team to lose, but I almost just feel like if the Steelers were to do that, if they were to get hot, play a little better on the defensive side of the ball, get to the playoffs, win a playoff game, then they waste another year. Like they really have to, they have to find some new young quarterback that they can build around. And, look, like next year's wasted anyway, because if that's what they do, get a new quarterback. I mean, no rookie quarterback's going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, probably Jaden Daniels was the closest thing you had to that.
Kurt Warner was the closest. Well, he played backup for a year, I think. In that,
but he's like an anomaly because he wasn't even drafted. He was like stocking shelves. He was just kind of like, nobody realized this dude was awesome.
Yeah. Except me and Charles, and we won our fantasy league that year. Yeah.
But the bottom line is that I just feel like the more the Steelers go with let's sign the aging veterans who might have something left, that just puts you further away from where you want to be, which is getting back to having a young, good football team on the rise.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but the Steelers did try and draft a quarterback in 2022. They drafted a first-round pick, number 20 overall, who turned out to be garbage.
Kenny Pickett.
Okay,
well, that is true.
So they did try and go down that route, and it failed miserably. But the reality is that they have to go down that route because I'm looking at the AFC, right? May, first round pick, number 3 overall. Allen, first round pick, number 7 overall. Tua, first round pick, number 5 overall. Justin Fields, first round pick, number 11 overall. Burrow, first round, number 1. Lamar Jackson, first, number 32, the lowest on this list. I'm not even going to talk about Dylan Gabriel because he's not going to be in the league in a couple years. Daniel Jones, first round pick, 6th overall pick. Trevor Lawrence, first, number 1 overall. CJ Stroud, first, number 2 overall. Cam Ward, first, number 1 overall. Knicks, first, number 12 overall. Herbert, first, number 6. Mahomes, first, number 10. Geno Smith, not a really first round, not really a starting quarterback, just in there because somebody's got to play for Vegas. Second round, 39 overall. So that's the thing about the Steelers. As long as they want to be in the middle, they're never going to get a chance to even draft these guys. And they don't move up. They're not going to move up to get a first round top 5 pick because that means they would have to, basically trade their first round, probably somebody of importance in their second and third round pick. They're just not going to do that. And the reality is, based off of their history, I wouldn't want them doing it. Mike Tomlin thought that Ken Pickett was a was going to be the superstar, was going to be the next Ben Roethlisberger. He has no idea how to draft a quarterback. Look at what Denver did. Okay, this is the model, in my opinion. Everybody has a model they want to follow. Follow what Denver did. Denver went out and they got the quarterback that we had, Russell Wilson, right?
Mm-hmm.
They said he's going to be our quarterback of the future. Realized immediately they made a mistake. So what did they do? Not only did they get rid of him, they got rid of the head coach who thought that was a good idea. Got rid of both of them. Now they got Sean Payton in there, who said, "I'm going to draft the quarterback because we sucked last year." Got Bo Nix, and look at what they're doing. They're tearing it up. And they're doing it with offense and defense.
They did have Peyton did have Wilson for 1 year and then
right. And he knew it was garbage.
Right.
And that's the reason he ended up getting Bo Nix in 2024, because he was such garbage.
But also
that's
remember
the thing.
But also remember too, now the big difference is the evaluation, which Sean Payton has and Tomlin doesn't.
Right.
Because
he knows how to.
A lot of people thought that Bo Nix went too high. Or I'm sorry, too low when he was drafted 12th.
Yeah.
A lot of people had him as like a back end of the first round type pick.
Right.
So, but he took his chance on him.
Yeah, he knew what kind of quarterback he wanted to play, and he knew he would fit the system, right?
And that's what Andy Reid did with Pat Mahomes. Nobody thought Pat Mahomes was going in the top 10.
Right.
You know, they were thinking 15, 16, but Andy Reid, wherever he was, maybe at like 20, he's just like, I can't chance it. I got to move up and get this guy.
Yeah, he moved up 10 spots to get Mahomes. That's right.
Yeah, that's understanding what you're looking at. That's a good scouting department and a great head coach.
Right.
Well, they have a plan, and that's that's why even if the Steelers would tank, which that's not what they want to do.
Right.
I don't know that I would feel comfortable with having Mike Tomlin make that pick, because he did it at 20, and that was just that was horrendous, because we know what he looks like. We know his talent. He's across the hall. We've seen him for 4 years. We know what kind of a leader he's going to be. And that worked out great.
By the time it was over, he couldn't wait to get out of town.
Right. Right.
And then he wins a Super Bowl with Philly. I mean, he was the Super Bowl winning quarterback.
He didn't win anything.
Yeah,
come on now.
He did. Come on. He did.
He took the last.
He took the last snap. He was the winning quarterback for the Super Bowl.
Let me put it to you this way, and I am 100% accurate on this. I have the same set of talent that Kenny Pickett has to take that last snap.
Yeah.
I can do that.
You think
so?
Do
you think you could take a snap from a center?
I can take a snap from a center, and I can get my knee on the ground.
Well, I can tell you, I'm the only guy here who's ever taken a snap from a center.
Yeah.
And I believe you could do it.
Thank you.
All right. That's cool.
Kenny Pickett's no better than Mark Schwab as a quarterback.
I'm so glad we settled that now, and we'd love to hear your comments.
Where do you like to put your hands behind the center, Chris?
I prefer to be in shotgun.
Yeah. That's my answer too.
Oh, man.
All right. Follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button at the Sports Porch Podcast. Click notifications. You'll know when we're live and having a lot of fun like we are right now every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm going to drop the podcast like I do right after the show. We want your comments. Last night we did a post-game show. Remember, Steelers play 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. So this Sunday, our post-game show is going to be right after the game. We'll tease that as well, as we always do. I want you guys to do some of the teasers. I do the teasers. Can you do one?
You're a better tease than we are.
Can you actually do something for the show?
All right, I'll try. I'll fucking try.
One last thing with this quarterback situation.
Please, let's change the subject. Go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers was drafted in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
The next highest one would be Geno Smith, and that was in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
That was 8 years past where he got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy next to him is Patty Mahomes. Can you believe it?
Mm-hmm.
He's the third oldest quarterback in the AFC right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Actually, it is. I don't know that I'd call it crazy, but I would call it an interesting made up statistic. No, I'm just kidding. An interesting statistic.
No, but I mean, that just goes to show you how out of touch the Steelers are with the quarterback situation.
Oh yeah.
Like right now, they're probably, trying to recruit Rodgers for another year.
Yeah.
And if not, they're probably looking at somebody like Kirk Cousins saying, okay, maybe he wants to play.
Yeah. No, that
maybe
would be
he
a
wants
disaster.
To play. But that's what they're doing now.
Yes,
That's their response for the offense.
I know.
And and they have so much money tied up in this defense now. I don't know that they can get out of a lot of these contracts. So
you know what?
This is the team we're going to have for the next few years. So it better work out for them in the next few games, or we could be looking at a free fall.
Grand Schwalbini.
Yes, sir.
I feel like HJ needs a hug.
Then give him one.
Yeah. No, I was hoping maybe
No.
you could.
No.
Mm-mm.
There's no hugging going.
No.
There's no hug.
We all have our own computers.
Okay.
We're all grown men here.
All right. Well, we're doing a virtual hug right now because
I get my hugs from hockey.
going on to the porch picks right here. Last week we had Vikings at Chargers. All three of us took the Chargers correctly. Cowboys at Broncos. Mark and Chris took the Broncos. Steve took the Cowboys.
Boy, that was a bad.
Packers at Steelers. Mark took the Packers. Steve and Chris took the Steelers. So Steve ended up 1-2. Chris was 2-1, and the Grand Schwalbini ran the table.
There he comes. There he comes. Grand Schwalbini's back.
He ran the table. So currently, HJ is still in the lead at 14-10, but the TD and the Grand Schwalbini are right behind him at 13-11. So this week for porch picks, wait, I got to get my notepad ready because I had to switch pages. Okay, this week for porch picks, what do we do? Well, we pick the Thursday night game, the Sunday night game, and a random Sunday game. We tally it all up, and at the end of the season, we get bragging rights. And I still think somebody has to do something stupid on camera, like eat hot wings.
Well, it's because you're immature.
It's not. You say that every time, but
you're a child.
Steve is the only person who followed through on a bet.
You need a diaper.
What was that bet about? Do you remember where you had to eat all the hot wings?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it had to do with some kind of picking that went on, and I ended up in last place.
I'll tell you what. You know what we got to do? Whoever loses this year, we're going to, in honor of him, we're going to do that again. Now, of course,
it might be me.
Is the risk that you would be?
Why didn't we do it last year? You were in last place last year.
You know what?
You owe us.
I mean,
I
can't even eat. I can't even eat hot wings.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even eat like a mild hot wing.
Why?
Because I don't take well to the spice.
You. All right. That's enough of that. Porch picks. Okay, this week Thursday night game. Who'd have thought before the season this would be kind of a like, God. It is the Ravens at the Dolphins.
The Ravens at the fish. The bird and the fish.
Ravens
bird at the fish.
At Dolphins. Okay, who's got what?
Who's starting?
You do. You're 3-0.
Oh, because okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I gotta say, even though Miami had a big win this week, I think they are in quite a bit of disarray. I think the Ravens are probably feeling a little better about themselves, getting a win right before Lamar Jackson comes back. And I think it is the Ravens. The bird will dive into the ocean and get the fish.
I don't think Ravens do that. But
they don't, but just roll with
it. That would be seagulls. Yeah. All right.
Seagulls.
Well, who did
Pelicans,
you say? You went 3-0. Okay, go ahead, H.
No, you're next.
I'm next.
You went. You went
2-1. I went.
You went 2-1.
Okay,
I went 1-2.
This is easy. This is for me. This is the Ravens. Even if Huntley plays, the Dolphins are a dumpster fire. And it looks like what's his name?
Trevor. No,
the coach?
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
looks like he's coming back. So Chris is going with the Ravens. What's your pick? Your pick in the comments.
Well, Baltimore has to win this game if they want to have any shot at catching the Steelers, even though the Steelers could be a free fall at this point. So I got to go with Baltimore just because they got to roll off about 4 or 5 in a row.
Okay.
I hope I'm wrong.
Oh, Mike Lawrence.
Oh.
Mike Lawrence, I think, is starting to lose it a little bit. And I can't blame them.
Yeah. Mike,
it is possible they lose their next 6 games. Mike isn't wrong.
Mike followed us over to YouTube from Facebook.
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of on our picks, but I want to address, these comments you got in here, and we analyzed this game last night, and of course it's going to be analyzed for the next week until we move on to who do we play? The Colts, right? At 1 o'clock.
Colts at 1 o'clock.
So Mike said our secondary sucks more than Halloween vampires. Kind of funny. And then he says, don't like being negative. We could lose our next 6 games. Listen, it's the NFL. We could lose the rest of our games too. I mean, I'm not making light of the fact that there's some negativity here, but it's early enough in the season that you don't know.
It's a week-to-week lead. It's a one week the sky's falling. The next week it's maybe they figured something out.
Week-to-week lead. Absolutely.
Now you sound like Tomlin. We're only thinking about this week.
Yeah.
We don't care about what happens after.
All right. So let's go on to the next game, which is Sunday game. The Sunday game is the Chiefs at the Bills.
At the Bills.
Yeah. And this is look, even though it doesn't have the pizzazz of the last couple of years, because both of these teams have been somewhat struggling this year, especially the Bills on defense. This is still a big game in the AFC.
Sure.
It's a huge game.
Sure.
So Schwaber, Chiefs at Bills, and your pick in the comments. We want to know who you think's going to win.
This is a rough one.
Yeah, this is a pick'em game.
This is a pick'em game.
You could just toss a coin in the air and say heads it's Kansas City, tails it's Buffalo.
I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I as sad as I am to say it, I was kind of maybe hoping that that their luck would have run out this year and they'd start a little backslide, but it looks like
they started that way.
Looks like with some healthy receivers, they're still pretty formidable. You got Josh Allen, who can't seem to beat Pat Mahomes, and to be honest, even though the Bills, had a really nice game this past week, and I believe that their running back ran for like 216 yards.
Yeah, James Cook had a monster game.
It's hard to do that 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
So
I won't do that against Kansas City.
So I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Bills. I think that this is the game where there is, if you could even approach this kind of thought about it, this is the game where there is no pressure on Josh Allen. He's played a lot of games against the Chiefs where everything was on the line. Their defense is bad, and I do think it has the potential to be a very high-scoring game, but I think the Bills are going to pull this one out merely because of that fact, and it's a home game.
The hard part about this is the Bills are going to be tied with the Patriots in their division, and Kansas City's struggling to keep up with the Chargers and the Broncos. So the reality is Kansas City's got to win this game more than the Bills have to win this game. Whew, boy, this is a really difficult one. I think I was going to go with Buffalo, but I think I am going to go with the Chiefs, just because I think Buffalo's schedule gets a little bit easier. They get to play Pittsburgh soon. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
All right. There you have it. HJ takes the Chiefs. Okay, the final game, Sunday night football. The Seattle Seahawks at the Washington Commanders. Your pick in the comments.
Any insight? Will Jaden Daniels be back in this game?
No idea. They're getting ready to start their Monday night journey to a loss to Kansas City.
Who's playing the Sunday night game?
Sunday night, Seahawks at Commanders.
Why is he out for this game?
I don't know.
You don't follow the team.
You're assuming that I am some sort of rabid Commanders fan because I used to be a Redskins fan. And you've been assuming this for years. You're thinking like somehow I'm hiding my emotions. I have no emotions about this team whatsoever. None.
Mainly because they're Commanders.
Yeah, because they changed the name. Because it's ridiculous. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I wish them well. I hope they win. If they change the name back to Redskins, I will be all over this team once again. You will not hear the end of it. But I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Steve, do you have any update on Jaden Daniels?
I believe he's going to play next week.
Okay, inactive tonight.
Yes.
So it's at Washington?
Yes. Seahawks at Washington.
All right. I'm gonna go Commanders. I mean, everything's telling me not to, but my guess is they're gonna lose this game tonight. They're gonna slip to 3-5. They're not that bad of a team. I think they're a team that's gonna make a play for the playoffs. With a fresh Jaden Daniels back and the receivers back, I think at home on a national game, I think the Commanders will right the ship a little bit.
I'm gonna say the Commanders because it's a must win for them. But I'm telling you, their defense is almost as embarrassing as the Steelers' defense.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it is pretty bad.
Well, they're old.
Yes. So I'm going with the Commanders, though, because it's a must win, and Daniels will be back, I'm sure. And the receivers are back, and they got to light it up at least one game. HJ?
Well, I picked the Commanders not to make the playoffs, so therefore they will lose this game to Seattle, and Seattle will win.
So
too much Darnold, you're saying?
Well, I mean, they're on the bye week. I mean, Seattle's already proven they can play on the East Coast. They beat the shit out of the Steelers. I don't think that's going to be a problem for them. And I agree with Chris. I think Washington's defense is as porous, maybe not as porous as the Steelers, but not very
it's
good.
not very good. Yeah, they don't have.
And
they don't have.
The Seahawks are the real deal. They got a full bodied team, both offense and defense. So I'm going to stick with the Hawks.
Able-bodied.
All right, there's the porch picks for this week. You can always email us if you want at ogsportsporch@gmail.com. And if you're watching on X right now, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Would love if you would hop over to YouTube at the Sports Porch Podcast. Click that subscribe button, hit notifications every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We go live and we do post-game shows after the Steelers games. But right now, we're going to bring a holy man into the picture here. This below me is Hockey Jesus. And what does Hockey Jesus do? Well, Hockey Jesus preaches out on the podcast after every single Penguins game and throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs on YouTube at the Sports Porch Podcast. There is a hockey game going on right now, and he's going to be live on this channel after that game, and then you can pick it up on the podcast. So, HJ, I listened to your last couple. It's kind of hard because you're settling into the beginning of a season.
Feliz Navidad.
What the hell?
Feliz Navidad.
It's not my birthday yet.
No, but
it's Christmas.
I know.
For Jesus.
But that's Mexican Christmas.
It's never.
Do I look Mexican to you?
It's never too early to start celebrating Christmas. And I give you the Lord.
There you go. HJ,
or at least a facsimile.
HJ, what has been the biggest surprise for you thus far from the Penn season? All right, so HJ is going to take it away here. Go for it, HJ.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Chris Chotti, because that's one of the things I like to cover with you in the next 5 minutes. This year so far, this year has already had some good things. It's brought up some new talent. It's got Ben Kindle and Harrison Brunick. Brunick looked bad tonight, by the way, on one of the two goals. So, and the Pens are tied 2-2. It's had nostalgia like they've had the past 3 years, right? The Hall of Fame game, very well done. Letang got his 600 assists. Crosby is the all-time points leader for the Penguins now. That's both regular season and playoffs. The surprises. So I think this is what you're getting at, Chris Chotti. What surprises me? The second line chemistry was a big surprise to me. I did not see Bantha, Malkin, and Brazeau playing so well together. I mean, immediately their chemistry has been off the charts, and that's what you're saying there. It seems to me, the untrained eye, that the chemistry is good. The chemistry is off the charts with that second line. It's really unbelievable. So I think I think that was a big surprise. The other thing that has been a big surprise has been the goaltending. I mean, as a team, they're like a .917 save percentage. That's really good. If you can do that all year long, you're gonna be in a good position. I know tonight that the goaltending doesn't look that good, and it's going to fall back. They're not. I don't think that Jari and Sheloff are together that good, but they're playing off of each other right now. Meaning, like, I think Jari's worried that Sheloff could take it over, and Sheloff wants to take it over. So I think he's trying hard to get to that first to be the first goalie. So I think that's been working great. The other thing that's been a surprise are the defensive pairs with Wotherspoon and Shea coming in.
Wotherspoon update, please.
Wotherspoon update. Wotherspoon got a goal the other night. Woo-hoo! Did you see that?
Wotherspoon, for those in the who have interest, is now my favorite Pittsburgh Penguin, and we will be getting updates on him every
the Wotherspoon update. He's been very good. I mean, and the thing about Wotherspoon that's been very good is he hasn't had to make up for Carlson mistakes. So I think that's probably why he's been better than advertised.
At what point do we start calling him Spoon?
Never.
Okay.
I say right now.
All right.
The spoon.
Spoon.
Did the greasy spoon get one in?
Spoon.
I don't know.
Come on, Spoon.
I don't know if you'd put it that way, Chris.
I don't know if he'd appreciate greasy spoon.
Well, every time you hear spoon, I think, hey, let's go down on the greasy spoon.
Come on, Gino, get it over to Spoon.
The other thing this year has already had was there have been some questions that have already been answered. I think I wasn't unsure if the Muse system was gonna work out because nobody really knew what kind of system he was gonna play. And I'm not an X's and O's type of guy when it comes to hockey, but I can tell you the system he runs is so much better than Sully's because you're not beholden to have every defenseman pinch down in and join the play every time. It's okay if you don't join the play. But when you do join the play, it seems like everybody's getting back to cover, and it's just been a more better team environment when it comes to defensive play and forechecking. The things in the future that we still got to look forward to, something's going to give. I think the answers on keeping whether Brunicky and Kindle are going to stay. Tonight they're playing. I think that means that they have 2 or 3 more games to play before they have to make a decision. They're going to have to overcome some adversity. Let's face it. At some point, they're going to have a 3 or 4 game losing streak. How are they going to respond to that? The goaltending's eventually going to fall back. How are they going to get that back? And eventually, Carlson's going to be the human hand grenade and give up pucks and start going the other way. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they respond to things like that. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Muse system is such that Carlson can't really just screw things up that badly, and he seems to play well in this system, anyways. He doesn't have a goal on the year, but you can tell he's up into play, and he's definitely contributing with the assists. So that's been very good. The other thing they're going to have to that's a worry right now is Raquel's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks.
Is he?
Yeah, he broke a bone in his hand. He had to get surgery done on it today. So it must have been a compound fracture, or they probably had to put some pins in it. And, it looked like it was on his left hand, so he shoots right. So it doesn't matter. It's still going to be a problem for them. The good thing about that problem is now you're going to see guys like Hallander, Kindle, and Koivunen probably play on that first line intermittently. That's assuming that Kindle stays, and I'm assuming he's going to stay in the mix. So that's a big loss. They did lose Caleb Jones also to a big injury. I mentioned this in one of the post games after the Florida game. He took a nasty hit into the boards thanks to the rat. He basically jammed them right into the boards, and so he's going to be out long term. What
do you think of the improved play of Achari?
Well, because he's playing on the fourth line where he belongs. That's the thing on the fourth line. You got him and you got Lizotte and Dewar.
Lizotte plays with some spunk.
Yeah, he's a water bug. That's what I call him. He's a water bug. He's the guy that causes problems. And those are fourth line guys. That's exactly where they belong. If you put those guys up on the third line, they're garbage. That's not where they belong. They belong on the fourth line. They need to stay on the fourth line. And they need to find some chemistry with the third line, something that's going to work. I think having Koivunen up here, I'd love to see a young kid line on the third line. Maybe Koivunen be on a wing with Kindle and maybe even Hollander. But one of those three guys probably going to have to play up on the first line now that Rax is out. So there is still some more nostalgia to come. Sid's going to get his 1700th point. He may have already got it tonight because there are 2 points on the board. But I don't think he was. I think he was in on the first one, but not the second one. If he gets 2 points, he'll have 1700. Gino's looking to be the 25th player of all time in points, and Letang is looking to become the 20th all time points for the defenseman. So those are things that are definitely going to come up in the season, and it's just something to look forward to. As far as the Penguins, I mean, they're 6-3. I mean, that's an incredible start for this team. Better than I think anybody was expecting, and everybody's complaining almost like, oh man, now we're not going to get Gavin McKenna. Right. To me, it's like Sidney Crosby in the playoffs is much more important to me than getting Gavin McKenna. I know in the long run he'd be a good replacement for Sid. Yada yada yada. I don't. How's that go? 6-7. I don't really care.
6-1.
I don't really care. I don't really care about Gavin McKenna. I just want Sidney Crosby to make the playoffs.
Or like my wife says, 6 times 2 or 20.
Wow.
Try to figure that out.
No, thank you.
You should just stick to selling houses.
Yes, such is my life.
And that's the Penguins update. I'll give you an update on the game tonight. Like I said, it's 2-2 end of the first. Looks like a lot of bad goaltending and a lot of sloppy play.
All right, Hockey Jesus preaches on the podcast after every Pens game and throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs. You can subscribe right now to the Sports Porch Podcast at the Sports Porch Podcast on YouTube. Click that subscribe and notifications button. You'll know when he's live after the Pens game, giving you a little bit of recap. They're only about 10 minutes unless he's got a lot to say, which is he always has a lot to say. But
I cut it down. I cut it down to 10 minutes.
He's pretty good at muting himself when he's supposed to.
If something really terrible happens, it will definitely go past 10. One last thing for Chris Schott. If the Pens play out of their mind all year, any chance Malkin returns, or are the two mutually exclusive? Well, the organization has already said that they are not signing Gino at the end of the year. And Gino has not said that he is retiring at the end of the year. So that's some drama that still needs to unfold. So stay tuned on that, Chris, because I don't know and nobody knows.
And I don't know either. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, do it right now. And grab the podcast right after the show. I'm going to drop it anywhere you get your podcasts. Wrapping up tonight's party is something we like to call What We're Watching. You want me to do it? You want to do it, Schwalber?
Why is it a question?
Because it's always a question. Sometimes you want to do
Should it be?
Sometimes you don't.
Should it be?
All right, do it.
Direct the show.
Go ahead, do it.
Okay, I've got it. I've got it from here. Thank you. Thank you, Captain. I'm the captain now. As we go into probably the most exciting part of the show.
I'm sorry, I have to stop your exciting part of the show.
Sure.
It looks like Marquez Valdez-Scantling plans to sign with the Steelers.
Oh, I was on that last night, wasn't I,
yes,
boys?
you were.
Or this morning.
And it looks
Breaking
like
news.
looks like it's going to happen. So he couldn't play for the Browns, but now he can play for the Steelers.
He can run fast and maybe catch a long ball.
Yeah. Hey
man,
there's our number 2 wide receiver. Congratulations, everyone.
Worse. Let's do it this way. Breaking news: Marquez Valdez-Scantling, or whatever the hell his name is.
Emergency pod. Marcus Valdez-Scantling is signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we now move on to what we're watching. So what does this mean? This is the part of the show where we give back to our community, to our fans, to our audience, to our loved ones. We know how hard it is to find a good show, especially when you've been watching a great show and then it comes to an end and you just say, gosh, darn it, what am I going to watch next? Well, have no fear. Your team is here. We are going to let you know 2 thumbs up if it's good, 2 thumbs down if it's bad. We save you the time. You don't have to watch the trailers.
Nope.
You don't have to read reviews.
No way.
You just use these earbuds. You listen to the guys on the sports porch, and they will pave the way for you to be a hero, not a zero.
We got you covered.
All right.
All right.
Perfect intro. HJ's going first tonight. HJ,
nice.
watch something. Ooh. This is called
Allen Iverson. Ooh. It's a documentary on Allen Iverson.
Wow.
Not just his career with the Philadelphia 76ers and the Denver Nuggets and
how he changed
other teams. It's really about his whole life. And there were a lot of things about his life that I didn't know that were like, wow, that's like shocking. Like, did you know he was arrested as a 17-year-old, and they waited to put him on trial until he turned 18 so they could trial him as an adult. Mm-hmm. There were some nefarious things going on there. I did actually look that up a little bit more. Let's just put it this way: in this documentary, they take the Iverson side completely. They don't show the other side very much, but it's okay because I like the way they've done it. All his friends are in this, all his family's in this. I think it's really well done. I think it paints him in a pretty bright light, and I just forgot what a force he was in the NBA for 5 years, 6 years. From 94 to maybe 2000, 2001, when he was just dominant, and his free fall from there. Yeah. But it's really, if you like anything about the NBA, if you just like a good story about a guy who starts with literally nothing. This guy came from nowhere. His mom did whatever he did whatever he could. His mom did whatever he could to put money on the table so that they could put food in their mouths, and to make it big, to hit the big time, to be number one NBA player, and then just try and live a normal life after that. This is for you. I give it 2 thumbs up. I think it's excellent.
Did they get into the crossover on Jordan?
Yeah, they do. That's they actually, if you watch it, you will find out how he learned to do the crossover.
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
There you have it.
It is a very interesting story.
HJ recommends 2 thumbs up. Allen Iverson, his biography documentary on
to
Prime.
date. He's still alive.
Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, yeah. I didn't mean to imply anything. The Grand Schwalbini. This is. Here we are, right back to violence and drugs and everything else, I'm sure.
It was only a matter of time.
No drugs in this one.
Oh, wow.
No drugs at all.
What?
Really?
Yeah. This is just flat out nuclear war.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No drugs needed when you're in a nuclear war.
Yeah. Now, Idris Elba was the star of this one. He's the president. And I do love me some Idris Elba. I think he's a cool dude. I got to say, I'm going to go 2 thumbs down on this one.
Oh.
And the reason for it is, I'm into these end of the world things. I really enjoy them. And I kind of felt like they tried a little too hard to maybe even make this a little artsy. Like, so for example, I'm like, I don't care if this ruins it for anybody. I'm just going to tell you, right? Let me put it to you this way.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Turn it off now if you want to watch this.
Yeah. Bottom line is, if you watch this movie, okay, let's just say that there is a nuclear warhead headed for the United States in a major city in the United States, okay? It's pretty clear it's going to hit, all right? We don't know if it does. We don't know who fired it. We don't know who survives. I mean, like, it was more like about like following three different people, like the president, the Secretary of State, and like some woman who's like, in these places where they make decisions about, hey, let's intercept this bomb, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the weird thing about it was, in a way, it was kind of artistic the way they did it, but I almost felt like, all right, I'm watching this for 2 hours, and I'm kind of watching the same movie 3 times over.
Oh boy.
You know what I mean? Like one of those.
Yeah, that's gross.
Like, it's kind of like, before you were watching The Girl, right? And
I know what you mean.
When she's on the phone, you just hear the president. You don't see him.
Right.
But then you see the president reacting to what he's saying on the phone like an hour later. And it's just kind of like,
yeah, I've seen this part before.
I don't know, man.
Well, what you're saying is it's the classic back and forth,
right.
Same time frame, but different perspective. But it was kind of hard to follow.
Right. But I will say this. There was one interesting piece that I got out of this that I had no idea about. Did you guys know that, there's 2 places in the United States where there is a nuclear bunker where, so basically like there are people that are on a list, to survive, and they get flown to these bunkers and they go underneath and try to survive. Did you know that one's only 3 hours away from here?
Yep, I did know that.
I didn't know that. It's in Adams County, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like we would be the people who would like drive over there as the buses go in, like, let us in.
I'm on the list.
But I didn't realize that. And then I looked it up online. I'm like, oh yeah, there it is.
Wow.
So that was kind of interesting. But
but we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, it wasn't worth your time.
A house of dynamite.
It wasn't worth your time. Now, I will say this. Now that I've given it a negative review, if you actually watch it, you might actually kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
your
I've lowered the standard
down so low.
I've lowered the standard.
It might be worth watching.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not watching it.
All right. Thank you, Grand Schwalbini.
Mm-hmm.
I watched something. I completed it. I just love this stuff. It's on Netflix.
Boy. Philadelphia versus the Mafia. What not to love?
Mob War. Philadelphia versus the Mafia on Netflix. It's a 3-part series.
This is drugs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Drugs,
come on.
Gangs, violence, murder.
Ooh.
Organized, disorganized, mayhem.
Now,
chaos.
you guys, who are watching the show, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe
button.
What,
am I here to amuse you?
Huh? Yeah.
Am I a clown?
Yeah.
Am I here to amuse you?
No, I just
what
thought
am
the
I,
way
like,
you were telling
funny?
the story was funny.
I'm a funny guy.
I just thought it was funny. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, all right. That's enough. That's enough of that. All right, listen. This was about a period of time in Philadelphia between the years of like 89 and like up into the 2000s. Sound familiar? We were there.
We were there.
We lived it.
And this was right after Nicky Scarfo got put away forever. There was a power vacuum in the Philly mob, and the Philly mob was a little, they're a little crazier, a little more, I would say a little more passionate than say the the traditional New York mob.
It was more like Boardwalk Empire
in how they settled everything, which was just a lot of murder.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about how the FBI, along with local law enforcement, planned to take down the mob in Philly over time. And there were some characters in it that I remember the name Joey Merlino when we lived in Philly. He was a big mob guy. I think he might be in jail right now. I don't exactly remember, but
I was too busy studying.
Listen, we all watch, or I think a lot of us, really enjoy these mob stories. They get romanticized, and we can talk. There's thousands of mob movies out there, some that are great, some that are not, and shows and all this kind of stuff. But these documentaries are fantastic. But I think we always equate it with either the Sicilian mob and the New York mob, and that's kind of, they're the main characters. This was kind of cool because it showed how Philadelphia was a major player in all of this, and how some in the New York mob actually were like, those mob guys down at Philly, they're nuts. You know, so it's a good one. It's a good one if you like this kind of stuff. I would definitely give it I was going to say 3 thumbs up.
Well, you don't want to raise the third.
What's it called again?
That's a bad idea.
It's called
that'll get us banned.
It's called Mob War Philadelphia versus the Mafia. Yep.
Very good.
2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. All right, guys, listen. It's been a rough week football-wise, but not a bad week hockey-wise.
Maybe we can sneak one out this Sunday.
Yeah. Maybe we can rub one out this Sunday. What do you think?
I'd rather sneak it.
Rub out a victory? Well, I think most of the time when you're rubbing it, you are sneaking it.
Sneaking it in.
Let's see if we can play some defense this weekend.
Why if I'm not getting any smiles? All right.
Let's see if we can keep them under 30.
You've been watching the Sports Black and Gold. Thank you very much on YouTube or on X. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button. Notifications. We'll be back Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. But we're going to be back even before that because we're going to do our post-game show after the Steelers-Colts this Sunday at 1 p.m. For Hockey Jesus, for Grand Schwalbini, I'm your technical director, and I am out.
See you later.
Goodbye.